Welcome to the digital space where ideas interlace, where crypto equalizers in the metaverse race. Thanks to Third Academy for hosting our virtual place, where Crypto Rican Queen and Money Talks educate. We're driving deep where the cryptic coin stands, breaking down barriers, giving knowledge a chance. Hello to our viewers from YouTube to the social dance. Strap in for a ride as we give crypto a glance. Remember, this ain't financial advice. And welcome everybody to the last show of the year for Crypto Equalizers. And today's December 15, 2023, and we're going to talk about the end of year crypto. But I wanted to talk before the end of the year crypto about the crypto contagion from 2022 to 2023, which is basically a series of events in the cryptocurrency market that has significant impacts on investors, companies, and the overall industry. And just a little bit of a timeline of it, because we've gone through some terrible years in the space. First of all, in Q1, Q2 of 2022, there was a market downturn, um, high inflation rates, increase in interest rates by the Federal Reserve, and global economic uncertainties. Why would that matter? Because everything affects, right? And then we got in May 2022, Terra Luna and USD collapse, which was basically the person that created the project, Quan, basically imploded the project. We got June 2022, Celsius network issues, and then they go on bankruptcy. We got Three Arrows Capital insolvency, increased regulatory scrutiny in August 2022. And then Q1 2023, market stabilization efforts, recovery signs in Q2, mid 2023, major exchanges adapt, and then late 2023, focus on institutional adoption. So, key takeaways: the crypto contagion was characterized by a series of high profile collapses, market downturns, and increased regulatory scrutiny, and the impact was felt across the entire crypto ecosystem, affecting investors, companies, etc. So, can you talk about the insights and predictions on future market trends, Money Talks?
Absolutely. First of all, happy Friday, you guys, and welcome to the end of the year coverage. It has definitely been two very intense last 2 years, and it's very important that you guys really focus on um, the way that the institutions are moving and how this new industry is shifting its focus, right? So we all know that there's over 20,000 cryptocurrencies, there's over 600 and something exchanges. And the reality is, once more regulations are applied within all the jurisdictions, and then they have sort of like basic regulations across the globe that are across the board, you're gonna see a lot of those cryptocurrencies starting to no longer be available in the markets because they're not fulfilling certain requirements. So it is very important for you guys to start focusing a lot on Bloomberg. I always reiterate, start watching Bloomberg crypto coverage. They do this every single Tuesday at 2 p.m. You can watch it on TV, you can watch it on your phone, you can also watch it on YouTube. Same thing with Reuters. Reuters covers global news and they do cover some of the economy, some of the global events that are happening as well with the economy and the governments. So these are all channels that are very important for you guys to tune in to see what the global economy is doing when it comes to digital assets and with that cryptocurrencies. And then the other thing I did a challenge with Crypto Week and Queen, and I'm gonna challenge you guys to do the same thing. Uh, I just happened to be at a local library, and I said, I wonder how many digital assets, Web3, AI, cryptocurrency books they have. And I just started doing this. I've been going to different libraries within my area and just seeing how many books they have available. And you guys will be surprised the amount of books they do have available. And you get these completely for free. You can access them and borrow them and just start reading and learning about the space because it is very important to get
Hmm.
perspectives and see what's out there. And some of these books will cover institutional holdings and things like that. So it gives you a different focus and perspective.
Yes, definitely, definitely. That's a great way to just get out of the house and do different things that make a person grow. So I wanted to talk about some insights and predictions for future market trends, and I'm not going to focus only in the crypto market because, like I said, everything is connected. We got S&P 500 and gold predictions. Um, the S&P 500 expected to reach 5,000 before an upcoming election, and gold is anticipated to hit 2,500 announced by August. Investments in SPDR and S&P 500 ETF Trust and SPDR Gold Shares ETF, including all call options on these ETFs, are recommended for potential gains. We got long-term interest rates, a prediction on long-term interest rates having over the next year, leading to a boost in bond prices, buying long-term treasury bonds for the people that like that stuff. Commodity super cycle, AI related biotech ETFs. I mean, AI is everywhere, even in crypto. Uh, Federal Reserve's rate cuts, National Defense Authorization Act expansion, um, Bitcoin and crypto market trends. Bitcoin prices are expected to rebound, with the upcoming Bitcoin having potentially triggering a price surge. The potential approval of spot crypto ETFs for Bitcoin and Ethereum could attract significant capital inflows. Then we got Coin to talk a little bit on how the arrest and penalty for Binance and how that affects the market.
You guys, speaking about, finance, legal arrest, and also thinking about what happened with FTX, you have to understand that sometimes some of these events are already priced in the market. They may affect certain assets briefly, but some of them are already priced in. A good documentary that speaks about this was actually released by Bloomberg last month, um, and it's called Ruined, and they cover the whole FTX, pretty much the rise of Sam Bankman-Fried, and then they
Mhm.
also cover his downfall. So when a lot of these things happen, um, and they you got to understand a lot of these things that will happen on the top level, they already know what's going to happen. They just cannot say anything, and it's on a need to know basis. So, for the most part, the people that are surrounded are going to be directly impacted, know that these things are happening, and some of these things have already been priced into the market. It's just a matter of it being released to the public. And by the time it's released to the public, it may or may not affect it as much. Why? Because they have already priced it in. So I don't really think
Mhm.
some of these big events um, matter as much. And what matters is the when you start seeing the market trending down, always think that there's something going on in the background because half the time it is. And that's when you have to go in and look at the opportunities and try to analyze if it's a good opportunity for you.
That's right. That's right. So also we got Bunk's price search. I mean, everybody's heard about Bunk. I mean, coin on the Solana blockchain, which experienced a significant price rally following Coinbase announcement to list it. We also got Ethereum prospects. JP Morgan analysts predict Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin, citing the upcoming Proto sharding upgrade as a catalyst. We got another sharding with Ethereum, basically another upgrade. Explain it easy, based in easy words. We got SEC decision on Ethereum ETF. Can you explain about the ETFs and how these ETFs, Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever, will have an impact in the crypto space and in the S&P 500?
So if you guys have been following what's going on with the ETFs, a lot of, for example, like Grayscale, they already have the Bitcoin Trust and the Ethereum Trust. Now they're just trying to convert it into an ETF. Um, for the most part, it's going to just bring more trust into the institutions, and you're going to have more people that have that traditional mindset when it comes to, TradeFi, right? Um, that they're going to be trying to get into the actual fund versus getting the actual digital asset. I personally believe that the digital asset is better. Um, some of these ETFs, Bloomberg just had a coverage of that this week. You guys can look it up within the Bloomberg YouTube channel. They actually delisted 234 ETFs this year, and some of them were actually crypto related because all of these ETFs have to meet a certain requirement by an X amount of time. And if the product, because again, an ETF is a product, if that product doesn't give them the return they want to see and it doesn't meet the requirements, then it gets delisted. And this happens all the time. This year alone in 2023, they actually delisted 234 ETFs. So some of these ETFs are good for people that want to be involved in cryptocurrencies or digital assets, but do not necessarily want the hassle of having to self custody, downloading and holding multiple wallets and exchanges and things like that. But if you are a person that are already in the space, definitely holding the digital asset itself, um, I personally believe, in my opinion, is going to be more beneficial in the future.
Yes, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Money Talks, when it comes to that, to owning the real asset and not owning a paper copy of it or whatever you want to call it. Um, so all these insights we've been discussing emphasize diverse investment areas and highland potential growth opportunities and market shifts, with a special focus on the cryptocurrency related developments and their impact on the investment landscape. I hope that also we got another thing that happened this year was regulatory developments. By the end of 2023, there have been further progress in the development of regulatory framework for cryptocurrencies globally. We've seen it in other countries, and in 2024, we could see these regulations being implemented, affecting how cryptocurrencies are traded and managed. This could lead to greater mainstream adoption if the regulations are perceived as favorable, or it could cause market turbulence if they are restrictive. Can you this month and the next year, especially with the halving?
So, digital assets, most people understand that Bitcoin is the one that actually moves the market. A lot of the altcoins are solely based on Bitcoin performance, um, and along with the crypto linked stocks in the New York Stock Exchange. So, a lot of these entities revolve around Bitcoin's price. And again, with all the news that are coming out, whether that's ETF regulations, etc., if Bitcoin is affected, then all of the other ones are affected as well, whether that's in a positive way or in a negative way. However, when you look at books like The Truth About Crypto or Blockchain, the next everything, and you start reading these books and you start seeing it for yourself. Not only that, the other challenge that I challenged Crypto Weekend to do was just type on your phone Bitcoin on your Google Maps and see how many Bitcoin ATMs appear in your area, and actually start um, go to a location that have one and see it for yourself. Because I feel that people don't feel it's a reality until you can actually see it for yourself. But the
Mhm.
reality is, digital assets, um, with Bitcoin being the top one, will continue to have a space in the global economy. And a lot of people are shifting not only to digitization, but also tokenizing everything. And this is directly from, you know, strategic plans that are being implemented by the World Economic Forum. Another great website to explore is the World Economic Forum and see how they're tokenizing and digitizing everything. And this will give you an idea of where we're headed. And then you can kind of start visualizing how you fit in the space and what you want to achieve within the space. Because even being here live from the metaverse and having this podcast just gives you the ability to see how everything is shifting. And it's very different from texting someone or being a Zoom call when you're actually in the metaverse with someone. It feels so much more real. The experiences, it's like you're actually there with a person, and these things are going to continue to become mainstream. And the earlier you learn about them, the better it will be for you. Not only adopt it, but see if you like to invest in these technologies and start creating that mindset of creating wealth for yourself, future generations, and your community.
Definitely, definitely. So yeah, yeah, like Money Talks stated about Bitcoin in 2024, its role as a digital gold could become more pronounced if global economic uncertainties persist, leading to increased demand as a safe haven asset. Of course, not everybody could own some Bitcoin because it's only 21 million of them, and really there's less than that because, right, we lost some. We also are expecting emergence of new technologies. There's been so much this year with the whole AI craze with a lot of tools for videos and all that stuff. Um, and let's talk about Money Talk's favorite topic, institutional investment, right? Because the trend of institutional investors entering the crypto space could continue into 2024. Their participation could bring more stability to the market and increase the credibility of cryptocurrencies as an asset class. Can you uh, delve more into that, Money Talks?
Absolutely. So there's no question for institutions and the global economy that this is a brand new asset class and that there's a lot of opportunity within this space. Um, I really want you guys to focus on watching some Bloomberg. Like when you're free at home or you're doing chores, whatever the case it is, just put a headphone on or your Bluetooth and just start listening to Bloomberg and just running it in the background. And it's gonna shock you the amount of products and services that are being created around digital assets. It's going to shock you the amount of coverage that digital assets are getting on Bloomberg. And it's also going to be exposed to some of the ones that they're studying and analyzing because they actually display it on their, their streaming. So again, some of the ones, of course, you have Bitcoin, Ethereum. Those are the top two when it comes to a lot of coverage, not only the coverages itself, but also what they're investing in index wise. Same thing with Grayscale, which is one of the biggest asset managers when it comes to digital assets. So it's very important for you guys to look at what the bigger indexes like Bloomberg, uh, Grayscale, Digital Galaxy, what they're holding, so you can see where the institutional funding is going and what they believe is a good, sound project and digital asset. And again, be mindful of deciding whether you want to continue to be a consumer in the space or whether you want to become an investor in the space. Because sometimes people blur those lines and start consuming more cryptocurrency products than they're actually investing in the technology.
Exactly. I also want to mention, yes, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday, the whole ledger debacle, because a lot of people don't know that there was an exploit and a bunch of people lost money with that cold wallet. And so just to throw it out there. Also, I wanted to ask if does anybody has any questions about anything that we covered today.
Yeah, I have a question. The question, it relates to the up and downs of the market. For example, right now, Polkadot and Cardano look pretty hot. Solana as well. But there, Polkadot, for example, was in 2022 hit $45, went down to 4, and is now people are picking it up again, and it's up to 7. And Cardano, the same kind of trend happened. It was 250, went down to 25 cents. Now it's back up to 63 cents. A big growth in the last just in the last few weeks. Solana had the same kind of story. So these up and downs for a more conservative investor really seem worrisome. How would you advise people to handle this kind of up and downs?
Can you take it, Money Talks, please?
Absolutely, my pleasure. So, if you guys look at the overall economy, looking at 2022 and now 2023, most of assets, including the New York Stock Exchange assets and digital assets with cryptocurrencies, most of them dropped anywhere between 50 to 80%, including bigger companies like Google, Facebook, now Meta, Tesla, Amazon. When you look at their prices last year, the same with digital assets and cryptocurrencies, a lot of them hit all time lows because it was a global trend. It wasn't necessarily the asset itself. And with cryptocurrencies also being linked to the miners, the same thing happened to the miners that are publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange. However, when you look at the prices from a year ago to now, and you look at the return, most of them are up anywhere from 130% to 200, 300%. So people got to realize that when these recessions, market crashes, dips, however you want to call it, when these things happen, it is an opportunity for you to find the good assets that will survive. You see the potential, you see the technology, and sticking to them because they will return. Just to give you an example, last year Meta was $88. This year is like 300 and something already. Same thing with Nvidia. Nvidia, I believe it went down to $100, and now it's like 400 and something dollars. So this happened across the board. It wasn't only digital assets. But again, when you look at that 1 year chart, you're gonna see that all of them have recovered over 100%.
Yeah, and actually, and Google also, I think I bought Google like $88 or something like that, and it's now where is it? Is 132 each one. So think about that. I bought it for 88, right? And it's 132. So the opportunities, like Money Talks stated, it's not only putting money in the cryptocurrency space, but also double dipping in the stock market side of it. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, yeah, it did. And how about meme coins? What's your sense about meme coins like Shiba Inu or Dogecoin or some of these other meme coins, so-called meme coins?
Es- Specifically, in like if they're gonna go up or it's gonna be a bull market, or specifically
Yeah,
what?
what's your outlook for 2024? And is it a
Man, I
is should people be looking at those versus the more stable part of the, even though it's not very stable, but more stable part of the coin market?
well, for new people, we always say it's better to stay with market cap The meme coins don't have any utility. They're very, very risky. Of course, they're very, very high. The higher the risk, the higher the reward. And let me actually tell you about one of the things that happened to me this week, because I was reporting on that coin bunk. I don't know if you heard about it. Did you hear about bunk, Mike?
Yeah, I did, but not enough to really understand what happened.
Well, the thing is that I had bunk and I bought it for like maybe like 6 months ago, a couple of months ago, and I bought $10 of it, and now that is almost $2,000. So
Wow.
think about that. So the people that want to make fast money, they understand the DeFi meme coin space. Well, I will say yeah, but there's gonna be, and this is not a bull run. We don't have a bull run in the meme coin space yet. We had one like maybe 6 months ago. I expect that we're gonna have another one because people go crazy bonkers literally for these meme coins because of the amount of upside that you can have with them. But at the same time, the risk is that they usually 100, I would say 100% of them are pump and dump schemes. Basically, they go up really quick and then they just drop like a rock. And then if you don't pull in at the right time and pull out at the right time, then you can lose your money. Um, so that's why I don't put too much money. I think the most that I put in a meme coin was $1,000, and that's a lot. But usually I put less, maybe 500, 100 to $500. Um, but yeah, we're expecting there's gonna be people don't understand the market, and so they just go for the riskiest stuff.
Yeah, it sounds like fun though.
It is fun. I mean, $10 to $2,000. I mean, think about it.
Yeah,
All the big gains that I told you guys, like 500 to 6K, it all been DeFi coins that have been meme coins. So it is very exciting and it's very, very addicting too. Very addicting. Um, since we've been talking for the last couple of weeks about miners, a lot of the mining companies are buying miners. They understand that the bull market is coming. Can you comment a little bit of that for since you're part of the mining company talks?
It's not even just that they're buying miners. Like again, I'm gonna reiterate it because I just want you guys to really get the real world view on cryptocurrencies and digital assets and miners and everything that comes with it, right? Yesterday evening, I got off of work and I love putting Bloomberg on, so I went and I put it on, and there was a top news, right? And is that Marathon Digital is actually going to be looking to do more acquisitions. So not only are they getting miners, but they're looking to acquire other perhaps smaller miners that are in the industry and grow and expand their production, um, their operations. Also, if you guys pay attention to the news, you're going to see that Marathon also had a huge deal in Abu Dhabi, and they did a zero carbon. They opened up a zero carbon facility in Abu Dhabi, and they're going to be running immersive mining operations from Abu Dhabi. So, these companies are literally putting in millions and millions of dollars towards creating this asset and finding ways not only to expand their operations, but also trying to reduce carbon and trying to make the operations more green and more eco-friendly. So definitely start doing a lot of research when it comes to the mining facilities. Again, a lot of these, if you guys do not want to buy the assets or be involved with the actual digital asset side of things, you can look at some of these miners within the New York Stock Exchange, like Riot and Marathon. They're both publicly traded, just like Coinbase is. And that just reminded me earlier as we were talking about the prices. Coinbase is one that last year as well, Mike, went down to $31, and this year has already surpassed 150. So same thing with Riot and Marathon. Last year they were both $3, and they're already up about 15, $17 each. So you definitely can find different opportunities within the space, and not necessarily the crypto space, but also the stock exchange and different markets, because a lot of people don't realize they're also creating gold and silver assets that have crypto designs on them. And I believe in the future these will become collectibles, because you guys know there's always collectors out there that like holding gold and silver, and adding that layer on it that they have the crypto designs will definitely appreciate the value in the future of these assets.
Exactly. There's so much opportunity, guys, from the investment side, from both spaces, crypto and stock market. That that's just not there's not in there's too much stuff going on, right? And so keeping yourselves informed and updated is ultra important, because information is power. Um, Also, we expect DeFi and NFTs growth, since you already talked about that. Decentralized finance and non-fungible tokens have been growing rapidly. In 2024, these sectors might evolve further, potentially seeing broader adoption in areas like finance, art, and digital identity. And since you mentioned that, if you ever go to what's it, Cointelegraph, I think it is. There's when you go to Cointelegraph, now you can collect articles like an NFT. So I'm looking at an article right now about the ledger patches vulnerability after multiple deaths, and you can actually then click on collect article and mint that article for that day. And they're charging $129, and they using Visa or MasterCard or crypto for you to be able to collect these things. Can you comment on the importance of because this has utility, is articles as NFTs. I think this is like genius. Have you heard about this, and what do you think about this, Money Talks?
Yeah, so I have, and again, it's genius. If you guys remember, I don't know if you guys did this in your family, but I know we have in our family, especially my dad. He's a big collector. So like any important events, like any major events that he deems is going to be like a historical event and it's going to change the course of history, he tends to save the news article. Like I actually have some that he gave me, um, and he's like, just hold this. I think it's going to be a value at a later date. So just imagine that shift. We went from like newspapers to magazines, so now we read the news on our tablets. But now you can actually hold that news when it comes out as an NFT. I mean, like it's genius. And in the future, if someone's like again thinking about collectors, if a collector in the future say, "Hey, I want that story," but now you own the NFT, now you can easily transfer it because now it's tokenized, and you can profit from it. So again, you got to understand that there's a lot of collectors out there, and eventually NFTs will be the way of showing your ownership and transferring ownerships. A lot of different industries are starting to look at NFTs, not only for showing ownership, but also to get rewarded. And we have seen this with like Starbucks, also Burger King, I believe, and McDonald's. They're now starting to look at NFTs. I know Nike, they were releasing a shoe that when you buy the shoe, now you get an NFT with it. Also, AMC movie theaters. I personally got an NFT from them. When certain movies come out, they give an NFT to the first X amount of people that buy the tickets. So this is definitely going to become not only something that companies use as an incentive, but something that's going to become a collector's item. And we all know how valuable those tend to be to certain people.
Yes, and we have also like for collectibles. People are bonkers about sports. We also have comic collectors because I have now NFTs from comics, from Marvel. And so again, if it has some kind of utility, I think it will be around. Now, with the meme coin thing, doesn't have utility, but the utility is to make money. I guess that's why people like them, right? Um, any other questions? Does anybody have any other questions?
I think Money Talk and Crypto Queen, this has been a great talk and a good view outlook for the next year and a great series. Um, so I want to thank you for being so forthcoming in all of these sessions during the year, and we look forward to a great next year.
Definitely, definitely. So, so let's keep talking about adoption in emerging markets. Cryptocurrencies will see an increased adoption in emerging markets, especially in countries with unstable currencies or restrictive financial systems. We've been seeing that already. This trend will continue in 2024, with cryptocurrencies being used more for remittances and as alternative to local currencies. So there's more people, I think, outside the United States that is in crypto than within the United States. Can you comment on that, Money Talks, and how is this gonna affect us here in the United States and and the people around the world?
Again, so like the one thing that I tell people, when it comes to digital assets, there's a global adoption that is starting to happen. For the most part, a lot of law enforcement around the world, a lot of people, employees are starting to get educated on it, uh, which is unfortunate for us here in the United States because we're not getting the same kind of education. Neither is the law enforcement. I have actually asked law enforcement people that I know, professionals, whether or not they have gotten training on it. And one of them said yes, they do offer it, but it's optional. Where in other countries, if you look at the continent of Africa, there's a lot of people that is actually required, and they're putting their law enforcement through training. So I think it's unfortunate how the education is not being spread here in the U.S. But the reality is that global adoption is happening with or without us, and it's going to continue to happen. And I believe we are going to start wrapping it up now. If you guys have any last questions, we can have it now, and then we are happy to be a part of this project and continuing to see the future for Third Academy and its metaverse.
Definitely. Okay, so then let's say goodbye to our friends. And now we wrap our session of Digital Grace with minds enlightened. We end this enlightening phase. Thanks to Third Academy and all the guys here that always make this space. And you, our dear viewers, for joining us from your place. From Crypto Rican Queen to Money Talks Insights, we journey through the crypto end of the year. Stay tuned and connected. Keep your goals in sight. Until next time, keep your investments safe and tight. And